Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Fidelity. What's it called? Fidelity Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund. That's the one I like to look at because BlackRock is big enough. And so this is the one I invest in. Um, and I have the little measuring tool pulled up here. And I want to measure from where we closed at on Friday, right there, 10% down. And that takes us to about 54.48 outside of these channels here, which is all fine and dandy. So remember, 54.48, so we don't have to pull up our measuring tool again. Now, it's all fine and dandy, but I'm going to have to add another channel. Which oddly, you know what? These are based on Fridays. I based them on Fridays because more often than not, um, Monday is a holiday. So, and there you go. So, what did we say? 54.48 tomorrow. It doesn't even take us to the center line here, but it would take us about to almost to the center line. But that's a bit crazy. That's a big 10%. That's a big dump from Friday. And why am I saying that? Because if we look over here at this freaking chart, it's a freaking train wreck here. Now we want to go from market close, which should be, let's see, 1900 hours on Friday. Yeah, it's right around here. We're on the hourly time frame on the Bitcoin US dollar index right now. And I know what it was. It was like 69,170. It's in here somewhere. And there we go. Good enough. Let's measure 10% down. Where does that take us to? Takes us right about to here, where that arrow at the bottom of my screen intersects that other purple line. Right there. And why am I doing that? Well, as you can see up here, if I zoom in, this is where we're at right now. What we've done. Okay, so let's recap from our last video. Do I need to do this? Well, we have this this white line that my cursor's on. The bottom is the bottom of our white channel that we've been trading up in since our inverse head and shoulders here. Let's get rid of all this. We don't need all that over there. God, look at all these lines. Anyway, it's this channel heading up this way. Now, I've been questioning whether I had that channel right, and I was thinking I did. Because we came down right to it. Right here. Well, we came down to it right here and right here on Friday. But then what happened? We did not come all the way down to it here, didn't come all the way down to it here. And I thought, hey, maybe I have my channel off a little bit. So I drew this green channel to connect this line, It hits here, it hits here, and it goes all the way back here to our shoulder of our inverse head and shoulders. And as a matter of fact, the center line of this channel is right here. Seems to act as pretty solid support here. And pretty solid support here. And the top of our green channel is right here. Anyway, so I thought, hey, you know what? I had it all wrong. The green channel is a little bit more accurate. And then what happened? Just hours later, what did we do? After holding this green channel of support, we came right down to the white channel. And we came right down to the white channel here on these hourly candles. So you just never know, do you? So anyway, we got those two channels to deal with, and that's neither here nor there right now, because what we did was we lost support here. We lost support, and once we lost that support, I knew we were coming down to the next neckline of our head and shoulders pattern here that we're forming with these three orange little curvy lines that I drew. Here's our shoulder, here's our head, and here's our shoulder. Now I told you this pattern was forming when we were back here on Thursday or Friday maybe. It was Friday market open, right before market open on Friday morning. And I said, watch out, we're forming a head and shoulders, and it's going to bring us down. And sure enough, I drew this curve right here before we even formed any of this. So sure enough, that's what we did. Now here, when we were right here, because I wasn't sure if this would form. There was a possibility that it would form, but this was our opportunity to reject it right here. And then we would just be continuing upwards in our parallel channel upwards. But we didn't reject it here. And we came down and confirmed it, actually. I believe. Because the neckline here is kind of, there's a lot of candle wicks down here, so it's hard to draw it accurately. All the everything's getting bought up down here, so it's creating a lot of wicks at various places. And so, for example, well, you'll see in a second. The neckline is either one of these, the red line or the orange line here, if you want to connect this shoulder right here. But it doesn't connect to these. You got wicks that go through it, but you got candle bodies and even more wicks that kind of land on it, including right here currently. I mean, that's literally right now where price action is. And so it's, what time is it right now? It's probably, we got 23 minutes left in this 4-hour candle. These are we're on an hourly time frame, but there's 23 minutes left and it will create a 4-hour candle. And it looks like we're coming through this orange line here. But do we stop at this gray line? That's the question in the next 23 minutes. And we'll probably know before the end of this video. So, and that would be a 4-hour candle. Now, if we do, our last hope of support is this white line right here. And that is the bottom of the most important channel in Bitcoin's history. It goes back like 11 years or so, or a lot of years. And if I zoom out, you can see there's the bottom right here. This white dashed line is the center line, and here's the top here. And it's the channel from which every parabolic bull run starts. Either a breakout from here or after consolidation on top of this channel and a bounce every single time. Um, so, so I took a step back and went to a different chart to just to get a clean start. And this is what I found. I went to here, Bitcoin on the Binance chart, just because it was a clean chart that I had, and Binance has a lot of volume, so it's a good chart. And so let's get rid of all this. Let's go to a 4 hour. Well, we can just stay on the hourly, I guess. Look at that. And when you just take a step back, maybe we do have to go on a 4 hour. And look at price action since October here, right there. That's when we started our parabolic bull rally. Price action is pretty much really simplified into this group of two channels here. Pretty accurately. And you know what? Let's just do this. And let's start back here. Even going back further, all the way here to June of 2023. We held as support. We fell down through it a little bit, struggled to get above it. Held as support, had a pretty nice bounce, went sideways. And I mean, you can even see how this acted as resistance right here. We held it as support, and then it acted as resistance, and we fell down sharply through it. Tried to get back above, couldn't, fell down again, started going across this way, and then tried to hold it as support here in August, lost it, and came down to the bottom here, where we kind of struggled to try to hold support there, but couldn't. Then continued on sideways. And when we pumped, where did we pump to? Right here to this line. And then couldn't make it above there. And when we fell down to the center line. Tried to hold it as support here, fell through it. It acted as resistance clearly there. Attempted to break up through it, acted as support briefly. Looks like a little fake out there. And then fell back down through it. The center line continued to act as resistance there. Now, I've introduced this gray line here, which isn't in the center. It looks like it actually might be 1/3 of the way up, but that's not important. What's important is that it interacts with the price right here clearly as support, resistance, and resistance, and resistance here, and resistance here. Note the center line acts as resistance there, and the bottom acts as support here. Oh my God, we're just barely in October. Let's get this show on the road. So here the gray line acts as support. This is clearly resistance here. So this group of channels really sums up the price action pretty accurately. Now here's the gray channel coming into play again in January. Tried to hold it there. Came back down to the bottom of the channel once more. once again interacted with this gray line and the center line, and then back up to the top of the lower channel. Even when we pump right through it here on the 4-hourly, you can see how we come down and test it as support before moving on upwards. So where are we at now? We're just to April, and here we come. Can you see here how we acted as resistance there, came back down, acted as resistance here, couldn't get above it. Center line acted as support for a while here. I fell through it a little bit and tried to hold it as support, but eventually came back down. Now, here you can see where the gray line has interacted, acted as support there, resistance here. Struggling to keep it as support here, but now note, here we haven't come back down to the bottom of the channel. We came back down to the bottom of the channel here in the first of May. And since then, the center line has acted as resistance. Got a little above it here, but came down and is still acting as resistance. Got a little bit above it just over the weekend, or today actually, but couldn't hold it, and it's acting as resistance. Now, what time is it? Oh, we still have 15 minutes left. But back to the gray line, you can see when I was looking for a neckline for this inverse head and shoulders pattern, I had the orange line and the red line on the other chart. But you can see this gray line hits here, 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 and here. What it's missing is this one right here. So I'm just going to use the gray line as the neckline. And what's good about that is that it's parallel to our channel here. So let's go back to, our other chart. Whoa, holy moly. I'm just going to leave all those lines on there. It's just going to take too long to remove them. I could. But here's the gray line. You can see it interacts there, and back here. It's the same gray line. And the purple channel here, this bottom, it's the same as the green channel. Here's the bottom. Here's the bottom and the top of the lower channel, and the bottom and the top of the upper channel. Become a solitaire VIP. Wow. No thanks. So also we have an interesting head here. But if you take the very tippy top of the head here, I was debating whether to take the tippy top of the head or the lower portion of its head. It's a really kind of funny shaped head. But I did take the tippy top because it comes up to the center line of our white parallel channel, the most important channel in Bitcoin's history. And you measure this target from the top of the head here, where the candle bodies are, down to the gray line. and then pull that target over here from the gray line, it ends up hitting the bottom of the channel. So I'm not saying that's what we're going to do, but that would be the target from this head and shoulders pattern. Now note, the target from the inverse head and shoulders that we just had here, right there, that target was up here at 75,000, where my X is. We never hit that. We only got up to about 70, 71 and a half. So even though we may continue downwards from this head and shoulders pattern, it doesn't mean that we necessarily hit this target. Although it would certainly be possible. And if we did, since that is the bottom of the channel that has supported us since October of 2023, I'm guessing that that would be as low as we go. What's also interesting is this orange line here. This target in this range at about 62,500 is the intersection essentially of the bottom of our purple channel, which is that simple green channel on the other chart, and the intersection of this orange line here. What is that orange line? That's the neckline of our inverse head and shoulders from back here. So we never made the target for that pattern, and what we've done is come up here and potentially coming back down to that neckline. Now, if we fall through that neckline, that is not good. That is just like really, really bad, because that would take us outside that channel that had supported us for so long. And where would that take us? Okay, why isn't, God damn, I hate this stupid mouse pad on this computer. That would take us potentially down here to like 52,000. And but that is not in the cards yet, but potentially could be heading into June. But we got a few days before we have to worry about anything like that. Now, that would all. I drew this line parallel to our neckline and hooked it up with that. This price action here, this price action here. Do we have more up there? No, just those two. And that happens to be right. Well, the reason that is because that's the measurement right there. So it makes sense that that would end up right there. Which, by the way, would also be around the top of our bull flag consolidation channel. So all this stuff is very, very complex and confusing, but there's a reason for all these lines. Or is there? Or is it simply this? Is it simply this? We were struggling here to hold the center line of support. We lost it. Now we're struggling here to hold this gray channel of support. It's very likely that we hold this as support and bounce up here and continue our move upwards. It's also very possible that we come down to the bottom, that we lose this and then come down, maybe even only to here, something parallel. Parallel to this guy's right here. What are we on? We're on Monday, the 10th of June. I'm looking at my little blue box on the bottom. Potentially, if we come down here, we might just hit that at about 64, 65. What's interesting about that is you can see it has horizontal support and resistance right here. So there's a lot of possibilities, and I don't know what's going to happen, because if you look on a daily time frame too, at our oscillators, you know what? I don't want to look at this chart. I want to look at the confusing chart. Simply because you look at the RSI, we've been holding this trend line here. Let me zoom out some more. We've been holding that trend line here, here, here. What is this? All the way since the 1st of May. We just fell through it briefly yesterday, but it came back up and held it as support. Now, this is today. This hasn't closed. This could end up way down here, could end up way up here, could end up way up here. Who knows? But we need to close probably higher than, well, I guess higher than yesterday. Where did we close Friday? I'm not sure. But we need to close up from where we are. Anyway, to continue to hold this as support. Otherwise, yeah, we could see some more dumpy dump action. But this isn't telling me much. And this isn't telling me much. It's telling me that we're, well, as of yesterday, we were above the center line, but today we are below it. But today is undetermined, so we don't know what this is going to do today. Yesterday, we were just about to break up through the slow line there. So today is the day that is throwing us for a loop here. Now, what do we got here? Oh, that's 16 hours. Let's switch to an hourly. Oh, 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes left. And we're attempting to hold the orange neckline. So somebody believes that this neckline, I mean, we've held a lot of action on this line. We're looking at the 5-minute chart. You can see how we've been battling right here. We just came down to the gray line briefly for, a short 5-minute or so period. Other than that, we've been holding this orange neckline, which I'm assuming they, whoever they are, believes is the neckline, but we're losing it here. And unless we close above it in 2 minutes, it's a good chance we dump some more. And maybe this is our dump in the next 4 hours. They dump us down as hard as they can. And then we recover for market open to some more reasonable place. The other thing that's throwing me, well, if you look here, futures is only trading $20, $10. So I got cut off, but you can see futures is about $30, 25, $30 premium to spot, which is absolutely nothing. But the DXY here is dumping, so that's good. If you look, let's go to a daily. The DXY has been dumping and over the weekend, or not over the weekend, but I guess it started trading yesterday. Has been dumping Friday and Monday and today. It's dumping, dumping, dumping. So that's good. That's in our favor. And here we are. We finished our hour. Let's just do this. There we go. So really, I'm just not getting it. Guess we just have to wait and see what today brings. If there was a significant dump, I don't know. I just don't see a 10% dump down to that purple line. Especially market open is just what is it? It's like 5 hours away. 6 hours away. Oh, whoa, there goes a little. They're trying. Let's look at the heat map. What do we got going on here? Is there anything worth going down there for? I mean, I guess. I just don't know. Anyway, so I don't know. Let's wait and see what happens. Let's go to the 4 hour here. So we gotta watch to see if we hold. Okay, so what you want to look at if you're up and about or whatever, we really want to hold this white line here. That is at 67,251. Now you can see that we did wick down through it here. So if we did come down, say to, you know what, I wouldn't want to wick past really 67. Let's just say 67 even. But really, I wouldn't want to go past 67.75 because that's this gray line, and this gray line is a parallel channel that we were kind of trading downwards in, broke out above, tested as support, bounced up, and if we came down here and tested as support again, I would not want us to see us fall through that. If we did fall through that, you know what I'm guessing? Yeah. This intersects with the mean band of the Gaussian Channel at around 64.5. That's a possibility too. And we might not ever make it down here. 64.5. Let's look at our other chart here. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's look on this one. That would be about where this gray line is. That we drew. That was support here. So if we did come down here, that would be approximately the the mean band of the daily Gaussian channel. Now that's a very good possibility, because what this pattern is showing with this inverse head and shoulders here reversing us upwards, and then this head and shoulders reversing us downwards, we're really just oscillating along the bottom of this white parallel channel, which is the most important channel in Bitcoin's history. This brought us back up barely out of the through from the bottom, from below the Gaussian channel on the daily time frame, up through it, through the mean band, through the top of it here. Then we reversed, and it would make sense that we reverse back down, try to hold support at the mean band once again, and probably form some sort of pattern that brings us back upwards, or maybe who knows, maybe we just hit there and bounce back up, who knows. But the end of the month is coming up here. Right here. I don't know. See what happens today. Worst case scenario, we come all the way down to the purple line. Second worst, we come, and that's at 62 and a half. Second worst, we hold the mean band at about 64 and a half. And on the good side, we hold support at this white line here. That's really what we're trying to do. And then if this head and shoulders pattern then in fact does fail, the target from there would approximately be up here. This is anyway, it's one of these arrows. So the target would be up here somewhere, maybe back up at the center line of the white parallel channel. If we go back up, we're probably gonna run into a lot of resistance here. Probably once again hit the light blue center line here. Now, if we did that, 73 is right here. More than likely, this failure would lead to a confirmation of the original inverse head and shoulders target. Probably come up, break through 73, hit that, come back down and test this as support for a while before moving upwards, I'm guessing. Now, the other thing that comes into play is the FOMC meeting in right here, June 12th, and the CPI data. And that makes sense of this whole consolidation sideways in the Gaussian channel, waiting for Jerome Powell to tell us what to do. All right, better go there. This is drug on long enough. And we're trying to turn green here. So, like, subscribe, and see you next time. All right, so we're back, and we got 3 green candles on the first 15 minutes of trading here. Trying to hold this one. Still, futures in spot are they're still about even. But we have pre-market open on Fidelity here and the other ETFs. And you can see where it's trading here at 59.42. Holding above this white line. This is a channel I believe that we're trying to hold here other than this part. Um, and I forget what it is, but it's important. And obviously, it acted as resistance here and support here, and it's acting as support here, and hopefully with today's candle as well. Like I said, if we did dump down to those other levels, that'd be like way down here. And I just don't see it happening. I think we should be pumping. We should be pumping. I don't understand why we're not. And if we were to dump, I don't understand why they didn't do it over the weekend. I think the Bulls and Bears are just having a hard time moving this thing either direction. Um, in my opinion, would be that they would try to dump over the weekend and liquidate as many longs as they could, and then pump the hell out of this thing. I just don't get what's going on. Um, we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. Overall, Bitcoin's going up. Bitcoin's going up, and it's really simple to understand if you just look at this chart. It's very clear to see with this chart right here. Worst case scenario, we come down something like 63 and a half. But if we did that, that would simply be a return down to the bottom of the channel. And from there, the next move would be up. And up where? Up big. Up big like this. All the way to the top of the channel, which is 100,000 in June. So either way, I definitely don't think we're coming down like this, down this way. That would be stupid. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This is a bull market. All the big players are getting in, and it's absolutely ridiculous to think the price would go down here. I don't understand why it hasn't moved already. Anyway, see you next time.